Hey Mama! I am so glad you are here. Welcome to your yoga practice today. My name is Erica and I am the creator and founder of SpoiledYogi.com and the Spoiled Yogi YouTube channel. This is a blog and channel all about helping moms use yoga and meditation and mindfulness and conscious breathing and all of those amazing tools to find a little bit more balance, a little bit more ease, a little bit more relaxation, and just a little bit more presence in your daily life. So if that sounds like something that you need, whether you are a pregnant mama or you have kids who are ready to go off to college, this is a great place for you to be. So please take a few seconds, hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss anything. I have so many big plans for the year ahead for this channel, and I know it's going to be so helpful to you. The video I have for you today is a Mommy and Me video with Katie, who you'll recognize from those prenatal videos that that are up on my channel, and sweet baby Pearl, who obviously has made her way earthside now and is already practicing along with mom as much as she can. You'll notice a couple things that are really different in this video from the earlier ones. Most notably, it's a little less calm and zen and a little bit more, what's the word? It's a little bit more chaotic, and that's just kind of what a yoga practice is when you have little ones at home. That's totally normal, and I want to encourage you, if you are practicing at home and you have little ones underfoot, to just keep with it. Do what you need to do to make them happy, to keep them busy, but don't give up on your practice because it's a little bit harder. Because even though it's harder, and even though it's different than it was before, it is so worth it. So let's get into the practice. So whenever you're ready, come up onto hands and knees. You'll want to set up just like you would any other time, so make sure that your knees are right under your hips and your wrists are right under your shoulders. And then take a big breath in, feel the heads of your shoulders move back and lift your chest forward. And then with an exhale, you're going to round your back, look in towards your belly button, push the floor away. Good. Do a couple more breaths just like that. Inhaling into your cow pose and exhaling into the shape of a Halloween cat. And then come to a neutral spine and just step your right foot back behind you. Toes to the floor, heel reaching. So it's kind of a calf stretch. Know that you can stay here or lift the leg up so it's parallel to the floor. Turn your pinky toe down. And know that you can stay here or reach your opposite arm. So it's just a little balance. If baby were awake, maybe you would wiggle your fingers. Don't wake her up. Good, take a big breath in, and then just bring your hand and your knee back to the floor. And we'll do the other side. So left foot comes behind you, toes to the floor, heel reaching. Inhale, lift the leg so it's parallel to the floor. Good, turn pinky toes down so your hips are square. And then maybe you reach your right arm forward, come into a tabletop. Good, take a breath here, pull belly in toward your spine. And then bring your hand and your knee back to the floor. Good. Shoot your left foot behind you now. And then this time spin your heel down toward the floor. And reach your left arm forward. So you come into a big side stretch. Yep, turn the palm down toward the floor. And just take a second to reach long. Maybe feel your top ribs flare up toward the sky for a second. Take a big breath. And then stay here and make big giant circles with the top hand. So it's going to come, around. My couch is kind of in Katie's way, but ideally you won't have to worry about that when you're practicing at home. And then switch and go the other direction. Just taking your shoulders through that range of motion. Then next time that hand is reaching up toward the sky, keep it there and then kind of twist so that your collarbones come up toward the ceiling. So it's a big chest opening here, and that feels really good if you're hunched over a baby all day. Good, one more breath just right like that. And then come back to hands and knees. Bring your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, sit your hips to your heels, and just take a break in your child's pose. Forehead to the floor. So Katie can do this relatively easy right now because her little one is asleep. If your little one is awake, then you could use this as a time to just bring your hands onto their belly. You may just be here for like one breath instead of 3. And then come back up to hands and knees, and we'll do the other side. So now your right foot comes back behind you, toes to the floor, heel reaching, big calf stretch. Good, and then spin the heel down toward the floor, and reach your right hand up and over. Yep, bring your hand so your palm faces forward, and then reach it up, over for a second. So it's a big stretch along the side body. Maybe you lift your rib cage up toward the sky and flare. I'm going to help just a little bit. So we're going to be, and then lift your rib cage up. So it's a big side stretch. Good. And then just like we did before, you're going to take that hand and circle it around. So the big stretch through the shoulder and the chest, taking your shoulder through its entire range of motion. 1 or 2 times one direction, and then change and go the other direction whenever you're ready. Stay steady with the breath. And of course, as always, know that you can take a break and rest anytime you need to. And whenever you're done, reach that top fingertips up toward the ceiling again, and then back behind you so your collarbones come up toward the sky. And just breathe here, opening through the chest and the shoulders. Whenever you're ready, come back to hands and knees. Let your knees come wide, big toes touch, sit your hips to your heels, and child's pose. Forehead to the mat. You can bring a hand to baby if you want to. This is particularly helpful if your little one is rolling, just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Thank you for that. Good. Whenever you're ready, come back to hands and knees. Good. Tuck your toes under. And lift your hips up and back. Come into a downward facing dog. So take the shape of an upside down V. Bend your knees a little bit. Lift your hips up and back even higher so your spine is super long. Good. Shake out your head, yes and no and maybe. Spread your fingers wide. Good. And then with an inhale, come forward and bring your knees to the floor. Come back into your tabletop so shoulders are over wrist. Good. Exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, come back to hands and knees. So we're following the breath, and you can stay with that, exhaling downward facing dog and inhaling coming forward, or you can start to inhale and come toward plank where your knees are away from the floor and you're in the top of a push-up. So you choose what you need right now. Depends on where you are postpartum and how far you want to push yourself today and what feels good in your body. It also probably depends on whether baby is cooperating or not. Whenever you're done and you need to rest, come into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch, hips to heels. 3 big breaths. And then whenever you're ready, walk your hands underneath of your shoulders and press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And you can just go ahead and face forward, that's fine. I was going to have you face baby Pearl, but I think this makes more sense. Good. I'm going to take you through a really short little sequence that I used to love to do when my babies did tummy time. When they're passed out on the floor is also a good time to do it. I'm going to have to... So I want you to sit up big and tall and bring your soles of your feet together and your knees wide. So in Baddha Konasana. And just take a second to lift your chest up. Good. Feel your sitting bones root and ground down. Okay, good. Okay, Baddha Konasana. And then whenever you're ready, lean back just a little bit. Straighten your legs out in front of you so you come into Dandasana. Lift your chest again. Good. Bring your legs so your feet come together and your knees come apart again. Lift your chest. Good. Lean back. Reach your legs out wide so you're in Upavishta Konasana. Lift your chest. Good. And then we get to do it all again. So lean back. Feet come together in Baddha Konasana. Lift your chest. Lean back. Bring your feet in front of you for Dandasana. Good. Lean back. Come into Baddha Konasana. Lean back. Bring your feet wide into Dandasana. And then lift your chest again. Good. Let's do it one more time. So this is a really interesting way to get some core work into your workout without really it feeling too much like core work. Or maybe it does. I don't know. One more time. Bring your feet together, knees wide. Baddha Konasana, lift your chest. Good. Feet come out in front of you. Come into Dandasana, lift your chest. Come back into Baddha Konasana, lift your chest. Good. And then Upavishta, legs wide. Good. Come back into Baddha Konasana. And then just take a comfortable seated position. Cross the legs. Good. I always like to do as much chest and shoulder opening as I can with new mamas. So just bring your hands together behind your back. Hug your elbows in and lift your chest. Maybe just lean back as much as you can with a couch right behind you. Good. You can stay here, just breathing, or bend your elbows a little bit. Bring your wrists over to the right side of your waist. And then hug your elbows in again, lift your chest. Good. Stay here or let your left ear fall towards your shoulder. Yeah, so we're getting into the side of the neck too. Penny's on the couch. Good. Take another breath into the side of the neck. And then we'll just do the other side. So lift on up, bring your hands behind you, cross over to the other side of your waist. Hug your elbows in toward each other. Take a big breath in, lift your chest. And then with an exhale, let your right ear fall toward your right shoulder. So opening the side of the neck, you can close your eyes if you need to. Pearl's not going anywhere. Okay. Whenever you're ready, just lift on back up. Let your hands come to your thighs or your knees and just close your eyes for a second. In an ideal world, we would have time and space to lay down and take a full-on Shavasana or final resting pose. In a new mom's life, sometimes you just sit up, close your eyes, and breathe. Let's take just maybe 3 to 5 deep breaths together. Feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. Sometimes when you're doing your final rest, your toddler begs you for applesauce, and you just ignore her. fold your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. May you each be blessed with peace and joy, love and light. Namaste.